In this lesson, we are going to create a registration form. Has some text fields and a select input here, and it has a radio button, allows you to select one or the other. And down here we have some checkboxes, and we have a submit button on the right side. So in project D, we're going to right click and create a file, and we can call this registration.html, and we can type HTML and tab and indent, and we will give this a title of registration form. Okay, so if we go into our browser, we can see that we have an article that has a header, and we can start with that. So on line 7, create article, and within article we have header, and then we have a H1 element. Okay, so we'll call this registration. So let's save this and go into our projects folder on the desktop and double click registration, and that's what we've done so far. Okay, so we now have this section to do. So we have a form, and within the form we have a field set, and this is called a legend. It's a legend element, and we'll be using that now. So just below the header, we can create our form element, and then create our field set element, and within the field set we'll add legend like this. Okay, so we'll call this personal details. Okay, so let's save this and preview, and that's the default setting that we have, and that's what we've done so far. So we can now add some of our input elements. So if we put it within a P tag, put label. So label is on the left side, and we'll call this first name, and we'll now create an input field. So this is an input type text, like so. Okay, so if we save this, so we'll go back and reset, and that's what we've done, the first name. So we have 3 more text fields to do. So I can just duplicate this and change the names. So I'll call this last name. It's still a text type, and we could delete this name and put phone number, okay, and change the type to telephone, and this will be an email. So say email for the label, and change the type to email. Okay, so if we save this, we can reset our browser, and we can see we've created those input fields. So now we have our age, which has some options, and that's called a select element. So if we create our label within our P tag, and we'll give it age. So to create a select element, we'll write a select tag, and then within select, we then put option. Okay, so option is the drop list that we get. So this would be the age groups. So this is 15 to 25, and 16 to 35, and then we could maybe say something like 36 to 45 or something like that we do. Okay, so now that we've done the select, we can save it, and we'll come and we'll reset, and we can see our select is there. So the next section is the gender section, which has radio buttons. Okay, so we're going to create a new field set, and then within that we have legend, and we'll call this gender. Okay, so we are dealing with radio buttons. Radio buttons allow us to select one thing or the other. So we'll put this within our P tag, and on the left side we have a label, and the label in this case will be male, and on the right side we'll put our input type, which would be a radio, okay, for radio button. So that's it pretty much. On the left side we'll have label, and on the right side we should have a radio button. So let's duplicate this and make another one for female, another radio button. Okay, so if we save what we've done, we can go back into our browser, reset, and we can see we have male and female radio buttons. But at the moment, it only allows us to select both. It can't select one or the other. If you want to be able to select one or the other, you have to give them the same name. So male and female, will give them the same name of gender. So now that we've given them identical names, we could save, reset, and now you could select male or female. So that's the whole point of giving them identical names. So that's where we'll stop in this lesson. In the next lesson, we will complete these other sections of the form. In this lesson, we've learned about legend and how to use it. We've learned about the input type radio and how to use the same name to force the user to select one or the other. I'll see you in the next lesson.